The natural state of a baby is to be covered in its own filth. I think that's how it builds its immune system, really. Building it with stuff that it eats. Just, it eats its poop, it eats the stuff, it recycles them both, it regurgitates it. It's a baby, it's disgusting. We have our modern day sensibilities, we have diapers and stuff because we don't want the baby to poop on the floor. But I was just thinking about how inefficient it would be to have it evolved such a deficiency to poop in your pants. That's a bad deficiency because you're supposed to be walking everywhere. You're supposed to be crawling everywhere. You're supposed to be getting out of the way of the poop. Even dogs get out of the way of the poop. They don't just lie in their own poop. Every organism gets away from its own waste. It ingested that energy so it could move forward. It could propel itself. But, that's why we evolved to reject the taste of our own feces. We taste it and then we say, ew, this is rotting. This is no good. This is bile. These have the organisms that I can't survive an attack from. My immune system will go into septic shock. We already have those taste buds and stuff. I just think of animals in terms of their natural biomes and natural harmonies, their biorhythms. What indicates that the animal is having a good time. We understand pleasure and pain as a sort of intersecting harmonious and yet dissonant matrix of vibrations. That's how we understand sense datum. Like, I can go out and feel the cold sting of rain. So water in the environment will have heated up and cooled to arrive at a point randomly, a random globule of water. It just starts, and they go at high speeds everywhere across Earth. And then they form in the sky and they fall down and they register your heat at a moment. You're bumping into the universe at that moment. When heat is transferred, it's transferring into another universe. It's leaving an imprint because we're multiple sort of universes globulating on each other, leaving footprints on each other. We're leaving footprints on reality when we emit our radiation. We all emit radiation. We emit a slowed form of radiation in the form of waste matter. There's radiation that is energetic and there's radiation that is less energetic. And we subsist on dead radiation, really. But radiation is just always alive. It's just always on, On and off is the general matrix of life and death, but it's vibrating, it's oscillating at such instantaneously fast speeds. It's like when you add one and subtract one really, really fast, and you don't know whether or not the light bulb is on or off when you get infinitely close to true reality. It's like we're always one step after true reality. But I can think that fast. I can sort of flow into my zone and understand what I'm talking about as I'm talking about it, as I'm comprehending things beyond my comprehension, sort of raising the scale for everyone. I want to be able to raise the scale of intellectualism by developing a language and a tool set that people can use to understand anything in the universe, because that's what language is. It's a tool. Tools that can outpace their users are alive. Tools rapidly evolve. They rapidly differentiate. A diaper is a tool. We invent art forms to discover new tools, new ways to interact with the environment. The environment is always measuring itself in greater and greater sensitivities based on energy transfers that are observed and, at every point in space and time, just instantaneously. It's always there. It's always the vacuum. And so when it flows, you sort of get with it. I could focus this talk about babies. Every organism has a baby species. So imagine a society of babies, because the human civilization killed itself off in the last major disaster. If a human civilization colonizes the entire planet such that it creates one superstorm to wipe out all humans, maybe some humans will survive that bottlenecking event. It's a bottlenecking event. This is evolutionary theory here. And those humans will have to rebuild their society based on the ruins of the older humans. And that's what we've always lived like. We used to have a loose and fast understanding of reality. We used to evolve really, really fast and live out an entire life stream over the course of just seconds, really. That's how babies think. They think in the terms of just instantaneous instinct, just like I know without knowing. It's the ultimate cheat code, instinct. I know without knowing. I flow without flowing. I understand Wu Ji. It's like saying that in a dialogue with yourself is just how any information travels. So it's how living organisms propagate themselves in their environment. So we're always living in this sort of shadow reality with three-dimensional constructs constantly floating in and out of view. They're just sort of like a globulating. We see a little imprint of it. We see inference of a two-dimensional structure, a cross-section of it. Like when I see that tree, I see the tree on paper and I see it on all the possible papers that can be observed in the universe, and I superimpose it and crush it down into a tree that I can get up and touch and feel solid, because I'm seeing all the possible trees that exist there, because I'm seeing at least 3 trees. I'm seeing one tree out of my left eye, one tree out of my right eye, and one tree as a mixture of both, as a sort of, I know this is wrong. I got 2 sources of right information, but I know this is wrong. So I know the difference between right and wrong. It's the forbidden fruit of knowledge. We always want it.